Week 4, the present day. How should we process Banham's writing half a century later? Well, okay, let's take another look. The context around the work of environmental control has shifted immensely. Banham was fascinated by the range of methods available to us, all in the search for human comfort in unhospitable environments. What's this? Okay, well, now we need to consider whether we should be building in those environs in the first place. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, alright, okay, there's so much more to consider these days. The problem has shifted from a localized issue of how to best temper your architecture to a global crisis of our race hurtling towards planetary annihilation. Comfort is so easy to achieve these days that we have to be even more concerned with the methods and sources of our control over it. We have a responsibility beyond our buildings to consider.
Whew. Hot in here, better. Actually, you know what, never mind. Much better. And we'll do this one too. Beautiful. Beautiful sunny day. Let's see what we got here. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. I can run the dishwasher today.
Okay, well, even if these issues weren't as urgent in Banham's day, they were still around and there should be something we can take from his writing and thinking. Our contemporary predicament should realistically drive us back to trying to understand the source of what is 40% of current global carbon emissions. Re-examining the characterizations Banham places on his cited examples can perhaps give us some insight into how contemporary projects are functioning. I would contend that the power structure spectrum holds up quite well, even today, and the third axis of knowledge is even more relevant than it was before, although perhaps it doesn't quite mean the same thing anymore. Many of the lessons Banham shows us in these projects are still very relevant. For a more clear analysis of this situation, please check out video number 2 in our series. Banham's projects all have such a clear niche, so let's check out some more contemporary examples. Philippe Ram's domestic astronomy denotes interior space through temperature changes alone. The GoLogic homes are prefab passive houses built quickly and run efficiently. The Jade Eco Park conditions varied outdoor climates for different zones of activity. The Airbitat bus stop provides an oasis of cooled air in humid Singapore. The Beddington Zero Carbon Eco Village remains one of the most ambitious and successful zero-energy developments. Kieran Timberlake, Lake Plato, and Bensonwood are working towards a fully parametricized, flat-pack passive house with the Open Home project. The Eden project creates an insane... Are these projects even pushing the boundaries in a meaningful way? The drivers of environmental control and sustainability efforts in most projects around the world are almost certainly the pages on pages on pages of building, energy, and everything under the sun code books. A significant shift from the time of Banham's writing is the universal adoption of the building codes and standards, and the subsequent performance metrics, certifications, and prescriptive programs. The ICC first finished the International Series of Codebooks in 2000, and that was only the beginning. The plethora of rating systems, performance metrics, and prescriptive programs scrolling by on the screen for the next minute are only a few of the globally relevant standards established by architects, engineers, policymakers, and more over the last couple of decades, and they all dictate their vision for the best path forwards. One of Banham's key arguments in chapters 12 and 13 is that the architect must reclaim their agency for making the best and most informed decisions. Are these handbooks helping us do that, or putting roadblocks in our way? Depending on your perception, just as Banham writes about technology in the 1970s, these codebooks could be freeing or enslaving. One thing that is clear to me, even as a student, is that the paradigm has shifted. The questions that need answers have changed. Great and ever-accelerating shifts in technology are helping us catch up to other disciplines while also careening them ahead of us again. One could say the power-forward and structure-forward approaches are more or less the same, but the domain of knowledge and project sophistication has drastically shifted. New tools on behalf of all architecture-related disciplines have fundamentally changed the way we go about finding the best solution for a given context and articulating it in the physical world. So, is this what knowledge means now? Knowledge of tools and how to use them? Computational processes can allow us to know within a couple percentage points of reality how our building will function. Is there an excuse for not making a smart or sophisticated solution anymore? Are we losing something by slaving under these managerial simulation programs? Banham hated the blind reliance on vernacular traditions and conventional knowledges, so one thing is true, there's simply no need for that anymore. Parametric algorithms can generate a bespoke solution for any given context in a matter of hours, maybe less. Set up the rule set, plug in the variables, and hit generate, but then what even is the architect's job anymore? Have we lost all agency that Banham so desperately pled for us to reclaim? But what would Cedric Price think, or Mark Wigley, or Nicholas Negroponte? Okay, we're spiraling out of control here. Let's back up. What I understand to be Banham's main point in all of this, that knowledge is the most powerful form of environmental control, is still relevant today. However, the target can no longer be said to be comfort. Rather, the pursuit of knowledgeable solutions is in the service of efficiency, conservation, and sustainability. Banham's problems held most relevance inside the home. It was about the creation of interior environment and the tempering of it. Now we must consider a global context for every single built intervention. Our responsibilities are in many ways much greater. The crux of this problem is that all solutions exist on a local scale, with you and me and our buildings which exist only in one place at a time. Yet the crisis is a global one, so we must live and think on a much broader scale than we are able to act upon. So, what next? Well, more on that next week. But for now, in the present, what do we do? How do we act? Well, this kind of historical analysis to inform the present is more prescient than ever. And if there's one thing that we can all do right now, it's a very simple thing, really.
Get your butt to the polls. Or, vote by mail.